Welcome everyone, my name is Brendan Snyder, thank you for joining me. Today we're going to take a look at thrash metal pioneers Metal Church and their latest album, which is a compilation. It's called From the Vaults, and it's got 14 previously unreleased tracks on it. And as I said, there are these thrash metal pioneers. They go all the way back to 1980. They formed in San Francisco, California, but their first album didn't come out until 1984. It was their self-titled release. And then their latest release prior to this one was Damned If You Do, which came out in 2018. And during that whole period, all the way from 1980 up to 2018, but present day now in 2020 here, Kurt Vanderhoof, their guitar player, is the sole consistent member that's been part of all of the lineups and the driving force behind the band. David Wain was their original lead vocalist, and he recorded the first two albums with them, but then Mike Howe was brought in. And he recorded Blessing in Disguise in 1989, The Human Factor in 1991, and Hanging in the Balance from 1993. Now, since that time, Metal Church has gone through a number of lineup changes, periods of inactivity, and things of that nature, until ultimately Mike Howe returned in 2015. And then they recorded the album called 11, which came out in 2016, and the 2018 release Damned If You Do, which brings us to the compilation album From the Vaults that has just come out on April 10th of 2020 that I want to talk about here. And this album has all vocals by Mike Howe on it. It's got 4 newly recorded tracks, 5 outtakes from the Damned If You Do sessions, the last album, 3 cover songs, and 2 live songs. So those tracks that are on here, the 4 studio tracks kick this thing off. We've got Dead on the Vine, For No Reason, Conductor, which is actually a re-recording of an older song, which is pretty cool to hear it done presently, and then Above the Madness. So those are the 4 new studio tracks. Then you've got the outtakes from the Damned If You Do sessions, Mind Thief, Television, False Flag, Instrumental, and 432 Hertz. Then you've got the cover songs on here. You've got Please Don't Judas Me, which is a Nazareth song, Green Eyed Lady, it's a Sugarloaf cover, and then Black Betty, which is by the group Ram Jam. And then you've got 2 live tracks that are on here. You've got Agent Green and Anthem to the Estranged. These were both recorded live in Japan. And now the cool thing is that I think even though this is a compilation of songs, it actually has a really good flow from one track to the next. And if I didn't know any better, I'd actually think that this album was all recorded at the same time. It flows so well. So here's the front cover of it. There's the back side. Let's check out the spine. Don't know if you can see that. And then if we open it up here, there's the disc. And we'll pop that out just so that you can see what it looks like behind it on the inlay. And then I'll show you the booklet. There's no photos or anything in here. There's also no write-up for the tracks. It just has the lyrics. I think that's an unfortunate misstep. I really wish they had given us a little bit of a background on what each of the tracks are. When were the covers recorded? Why were they recorded? Why didn't the songs that were the outtakes make it on the album? I think that would have been really nice to get that in here, and I was actually expecting it, but I didn't find it. So a little disappointed in that regard, but it's still very nice packaging, and I think, the album cover, it's very classic Metal Church with the guitar that looks like the cross cracking open the vault the way that it does, and I do appreciate that at least. So, bottom line on here, as I said, I think the album flows really well. I think it works as a single concise album, even though it's a collection of songs. The cool thing about the cover songs is they're not the big hits that you would normally expect, like with Nazareth. It's not Hair of the Dog. So to me, they're more obscure, and I think that's for the better because they don't immediately jump out or stand out on the album, and they don't appear out of place. I can listen to the album all the way through, and I'm not stopping and hearing somebody else's song, at least in my mind, because it's not the big hit sort of a thing. And the 2 live tracks are at the end of the album, and they do feel like bonus cuts. I think that's mostly because they're live songs, but I appreciate that they're not sprinkled throughout, breaking the flow of 12 studio cuts that you get on the album before you get to those last 2 live cuts. And I think, if you're a fan of Mike Howe, if you're a fan of, the last 2 albums that Metal Church did, I think you're going to really enjoy this, and I do recommend it and think you should check it out. All right, I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, and I hope everyone has a great day. Take care, everyone. Stay safe out there. Bye-bye.